Hey, what's up everybody? Captain Awesome here. And today we're going to talk about all these little Islam censor groups that are out trying to get people's videos banned. People send me links to these fairly often. Sometimes I go check them out, you know, if they mention me. Because I get so giddy when anybody mentions me. Oh, they're trying to get me off the air. And first off, they're so counterproductive. It's not like it's the first time anybody's tried to get me kicked off of YouTube. I've been here 2 years now. You want me off of YouTube? It's pretty easy. Don't watch my videos! Problem solved. But aside from that, if they did get me banned somehow, that would stir up far more anti-Muslim feelings than I ever could in 1,000 videos. So I was poking around one of these websites, and their main objection was that blasphemy should be banned from YouTube. And so I then took a quick look at what their definition of blasphemy was. You know, new ideas. The first thing on their list, listed as blasphemy, was questioning the authorship of the Quran. That's blasphemy. That's blasphemy. Now ask yourself for a second. Who questions the authorship of the Quran? All non-Muslims. Basically, that's outright censorship of anything that questions their religion. It's not the Muhammad dick jokes or whatever. It's just any questioning their religion by that rule. They maintain that they should be free to question any other religion, that they should be free to blast away at Western society at will. And that's fine, you know, more power to them, but don't tell me to shut the fuck up. You know, your Quran is clearly not from a god. So in this point, in this blasphemy, I'm going to raise two big issues. A lot of people, when going after the Quran, go after like little nitpicky things. You know, mountains don't prevent earthquakes, there's no such thing as flying horses, that sort of stuff. And that stuff is funny, but irrelevant to the 2 points that I'm going to make, which are big, big points that show that an infinite being with an infinite knowledge of time and space could not have created the religion of Islam. The 2 points I'm going to go after. One is that Arabic is the language of God, which is claimed in the Quran many, many times. In virtually every chapter, every other chapter, it says this. And the other one is the holy month of Ramadan. There are huge flaws in both of these concepts that a being with an infinite grasp of time and space could not possibly have made. Now with Arabic, whoever wrote this in the Quran did not have a fundamental understanding of linguistics. To say Arabic is the language of God is misunderstanding. There is no one language of Arabic. Like every other language on earth, it progresses over a space of hundreds of years into a whole different language, like Old English or Middle English, which is not even that long ago. I'm going to play a clip of Middle English now. You tell me if you understand it.
One that April, with his shore sota, the druk the march hath pierced to the rota, and bothered every...
No. Yeah, that's because that type of English was only spoken for a couple hundred of years. Just like the Arabic in Muhammad's time was only spoken for a few hundred years before the language, like any other, evolved into a new language. The Arabic today is not the Arabic of Muhammad's time, even close. Would an all-knowing being not understand that linguistics evolves that way? You know, probably not. Probably an all-knowing being would understand this. Who wouldn't understand this? Oh, I don't know, maybe somebody who lived a single lifetime in a single region. Not throwing out any names yet, stay tuned. Okay, the second problem is with the holy month of Ramadan. Again, not a small thing in Islam. This is a big concept. This is one of the 5 pillars. And during the holy month of Ramadan, which travels around the seasons, because the Islamic calendar is tied to the moon and not tied to the seasons, you know, it shifts. Sometimes it's in winter, sometimes it's in summer. During the month, you're supposed to fast during the daytime, during the time when the sun is out. What's the problem with this? Well, probably nothing if you live near the equator. But if you live near or above the Arctic or Antarctic circles, which many people do, you're going to have a big problem. Because there are times during the year when Ramadan will fall there, where the sun does not set, where there is always daylight. Did God not realize this? You can perhaps starve yourself to death or near death. You could perhaps die of dehydration. But whoever invented this holy month of Ramadan was clearly unaware that in certain parts of the globe, the sun never sets. If they were, they would either change the rules completely or tie the holy month of Ramadan to either spring or fall when the months are somewhat stable. But tell me, who is more likely to be unaware of that? An all-knowing, omnipresent God who is everywhere, or perhaps a man living in the Middle East where daytimes are fairly steady throughout the year? So the person who would create these rules, who would be aware of this, is living somewhere near the equator during a fixed set of time, not an omnipresent God. And I sincerely hope that never in the future will pointing out simple truths like this be considered blasphemy. Peace.